Hey everyone, it's Updog here, the People's Envoy, and today I'm back with another team graphic for you. This is the Hellfire Club graphic. If you don't know, you can find my graphics that I make on my Discord server, so the link for that will be down below. And you can just download them all if you want. I've got plenty of them out there. I'm trying to keep up with the graphics for sure. I haven't done a lot of videos lately, but I'm still holding out hope that I will start picking that back up on a more regular basis. So thank you for hanging in there with me on my channel, and let's get into the graphic here. So I do lay my graphics out as the positioning that I think you should place the characters on the team. So Sebastian Shaw here, he's first. He's the tank of the team, so that's why he's on the end there. So let's go over my recommendations, and then I'll kind of explain why here. So for the ISO for Sebastian, I think Raider or Healer is going to be best. Now, I thought about Fortifier as a choice for him, but he does get a lot of barrier from his abilities, so I didn't think that was probably going to be the best choice. So Healer might be an option, and then Raider, he does do a lot of AoE's attack, so that's another good choice. We'll see how it goes. In a raid, you might need the healing, so that's why I put that out there. Now, he doesn't have a lot of negative effects going on in his abilities. Let's zoom in on him a little bit here. Alright, so on his basic here, he does a stun, which I'm pretty sure he's the first character in the game that does a stun on his basic. And he also does a stun on his ISO attack, if you want to run him as striker, but doesn't really make sense to me to run him as a striker unless you have him at low stars and you want to make sure that you hit that stun. So he'll hit them again with that ISO attack and do a stun. It doesn't stack, but maybe if you don't land it the first time, then you can do him as striker and hopefully land it the second time. On his special, he clears barrier and puts out heal block and defense down. I'm just checking my notes here. Yeah. On his ult and passive, he does not do any other kind of negative effects to the enemies. So that's why he's kind of blank there. And then, like I said, with his ISO attack, apply stun. So he's an interesting tank, I'll tell you that. So for his T4s, let's go look at him real quick. On his passive, I said it's not necessary to up to T4 his passive, and I'll tell you why here. So while he has charge, gain 20% damage, 15% damage reduction, up to a maximum of 80% damage. Now, in testing, wait, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. The passive you do want to do. So I'm trying to get clarification on his passive, and I didn't get a lot of chance to test the team out, but the damage reduction that is going on here, I think that 15% with the max of 80, I think that stacks per charge. So like each charge he gets is builds up that damage reduction. So that's why we are going to T4 the passive. Now the ult, I didn't think was going to be worth it. Basically, the T4, if he has charged, his damage gets increased by 100%. So, and it's only like, well, let's see. So it goes from 50 to 150% here on this charged. I didn't really think it was worth it because it has a huge cooldown. I mean, you are going to be getting energy from Azazel on kill, but I don't know. I think I'm going to start off without it and see how it goes. and go from there. So, and then the special you want to T4, the basic, I hardly ever recommend the basic except for Madelyne here. You'll see why here in a minute. But yeah, Sebastian's pretty straightforward. Emma, good old Emma, she's been around a long time. Hopefully you've had her built, so you didn't have to put a lot of resources into her. She didn't really get anything changed on her kits. The devs I know Emma's always been a problem for them, and I know they don't want to make her even more complicated than she already is. As far as complicated meaning, she causes a lot of problems when they do their testing, their balancing testing and everything like that. So they didn't want to make that worse for them, I'm guessing. So that's why they didn't change her kit much. She's still got the blind on her ult. She's still got the slow on her special, clearing positive effects, doing that negative 10% speed. So her passive is definitely not something you really need. It's all about war defense. So on war defense, on spawn, apply defense up to mutant villains. So yeah, I don't think that's a pretty poor T4 to be spending on an upgrade on. So I definitely think you could skip that one. The ult and the special you want to keep, and you definitely want to T4 that. Again, the basic really isn't that much to it, so we are good there. And I've liked her as skirmisher for quite a while. She's a good skirmisher. Also fortifier, you want to keep her alive. So I don't really think there's going to be any other ISOs that are going to be worth it for her. And if you did want to do striker, this is her ISO attack. It's pretty long. Depends on if she's charged or not, depending on what the ISO attack does. So next up is Madelyne Prior. Now, she didn't get much of a change or rework either as far as her kit goes. I think the prolonged debuffs on her ult here, I think that's new, but everything else is pretty much the same. This is kind of interesting for a raid team. Like, a lot of the times raid teams, you need a lot of T4 as well. On her ult, it gives 25% extra chance to assist. There's a lot of characters out, maybe not a lot, but there's definitely more characters out there now that cancel assists than there was when she first came out for the Marauders. And so going up to just a 50% chance to assist on non-attack abilities too. So like Emma, her special and her ult are non-attack. I think Azazel might have one as well. That's really it on the team. The Marauders had a lot of non-attack abilities. A lot more, I felt like. So that was a little bit more worth it then. So if you've already done it, that's fine. And then 10% damage for controlled characters. It's really not that impactful. So the passive, I think, is fine to skip. The ult, I think, is going to be great to go ahead and upgrade. The special, I said to skip it because it just adds 50%. Anything, if you ever see a T4 upgrade that's 50% or less, unless it's piercing maybe and it's like a multi-hit attack type of thing, then I personally just skip it, really, because 50% just damage, there's no piercing here, really not going to do a lot. It doesn't increase these debuffs here for like the different classes that she does. So I think, yeah, save your T4s. And the basic, I did say to T4 because if you're going to keep her striker, which I recommend, it will go from flipping 2 positive effects to 3. So that's kind of nice. When you have a ISO attack, you can flip up to 6. So like, let's say you run into a character with quite a few like regens and then some other positive effects. That'll really chew through that if she's a striker. And then we have Azazel, so he does not have anything going on his basic as far as effects to the enemies. On his special, he flips defense up, which is kind of nice. Puts out a blind and bleed. His ult clears one positive effect and puts out slow. There's a... let's see. Rachel has a thing in her kit where if the enemies gain slow, then they gain some other negative effects, so we'll go over that. But as far as his T4s, we want the passive, the ult, and the special, I believe, are going to be really good for him. Let's double check the... let's see. So the passive is going to add... oh yeah, the fill speed bar and generate the ability energy. That's huge. That is the key. One of the... if you're not going to... if you don't have a lot of T4s, you definitely want to do the passive on Azazel for this team. Now the ult also reduces additional speed bar, so that's going to be huge for you as well. And then the special, let's see, puts out bleed out there, some extra damage, and a bonus attack to the character with the highest damage. So yeah, definitely worth it. I know I said anything 50% or under, but this does much more. Puts out the blind, the bleed, bonus attack, so definitely think that one's worth it as well. And then we have Rachel. She's got a lot going on in her kit, so let's see here. Alright, so like I said, if you T4 her passive, when an enemy gains slow, this character, she has to have 3 or more Hellfire or Immortal X-Men allies. The speed bar, reduce the speed bar by 15% and apply trauma, so that's huge in itself. The ult is going to gain an additional 100% piercing and then be able to spread stun. She's going to be the first character that has been able to do that, to spread stun. So that's pretty cool, like that they added that into the game finally. I covered that in my video about her that was supposed to be an exclusive kit reveal, but that's all right. Some mistakes happen. It's all good. She also spreads stun on her special if you T4 that as well. So one thing to keep in mind, the ult spreads from primary targets to adjacent targets. The special only spreads it to the most injured enemy, so something to keep in mind there, but it is a low cooldown. I do like that. So that's what you want to do. You want to do the passive, ult, and special on her. She's got a lot of great things, especially in her passive. She prevents safeguard and immunity. That's on certain classes, so protectors cannot spawn with immunity or safeguard. So like Mr. Fantastic MCU, Gladiator, couple of other characters that you see out there that have that protectors. So, and then support, one character that I have in mind as a support who has immunity is Apocalypse. I can't think of any else off the top of my head, but she also has in there, they cannot gain speed bar on spawn either. So pretty good tools that she has to counter some of the meta characters out there. So let me know down in the comments if you are excited about this team, and based on what you've seen already, hopefully the new raids coming out here will get to have them be the specialist of the mutant section. So until next time, everyone, make sure you spend those resources wisely, and I'll be seeing you around. Make sure to stay tuned to the channel. Next week I have a surprise for you guys. So if I don't get out another video before that, just make sure you're keeping an eye on the channel. So we'll see you around, guys. Thanks a lot.